Why does this not work? This was supposed to do my intro. Why did it? I'm just sitting here doing my thing. Well, hello everybody. I was gonna go get my coffee. I was gonna change my hat. I was going to reboot up the YouTube app on my iPad that I have to do every show because otherwise it doesn't give me the all messages ability. That's the stuff I was going to do while the intro was playing. For some reason it didn't play. It just started right off with me, with my looking down at the screen over here. No intro. I guess we'll just do it live. We'll do it live. I guess I won't do an intro. Apparently, which is but I'm gonna have to leave the screen here and go get my coffee. Nevertheless, and I gotta restart the YouTube page on my iPad. So all that's going to be happening. I'm just looking at something else on here. Let's see here. I'm not ready to start the show, guys. I need that intro. That's what gets me, that's what gets me going, man. I'm dancing to the music. I'm grooving, I'm moving, I'm getting all pumped up. I need my intro. I can't do my intro, I can't start the show without that.
Hello,
I'll be right back. Today, get a behind-the-scenes look at my little show prep here. I have this little table here that I put all my shit on, and it really bugs me that the damn thing won't slide. It's like it's glued to the ground or something. But it's not. I can get the slide backwards. I can't get the slide forward. Really frustrating me. All right. Well, there's that. Good morning, everybody. Let me see. I still got something I got to do here. I still got to go to here. I'm going to re-download the YouTube app, the YouTube page, because that's really what I watch all the chat on. It just makes it a lot easier than trying to look on the phone, which is it's just fleeting. It's just small and it was only on for it's just not as good. So anyhow, let me plug in. See, this is the stuff I'm doing. If you ever wondered what am I doing during the intro, this is what I'm doing. I'm getting my table in position. I'm getting my coffee and my water, and see, because now I got my coffee. I got some water bottles over here. I get everything situated. I get my chair all situated just right, so I'm sitting in the right spot here. Look, I didn't even change shirts. Usually I put on a different shirt. Something that I like to wear. But today we'll just go with this one. I plug in the mic. Okay, I'm gonna plug in the mic now. So here we go. Let's see what happens. I don't know why the intro didn't play. See, I get the mic out. I turn it on. I switch out glasses. This is all the stuff I usually do when the intro is playing. Except for that, I usually do that at the very last. But turning on the mic thing. So anyhow, I don't know why. I still don't know why the intro didn't play. It really bothers me because I turned it on. I had it on. All right, let's see. I had it on. Oh, let's turn that off. You can see the delay. There's about a 5-second delay or something like that, probably. Let's see. I can go to all messages, and there we are. Boom. Now I don't know if this is going to go all the way to the beginning. I'm showing William, but it looks like that's not the beginning because William is saying hi to Tamara. So there was already someone in the chat before William, apparently. So I don't know who the first one was. It doesn't allow me to scroll all the way to the very top of the very beginning of the chat. But apparently Tamara's here. So hello Tamara, hello William. I got Josh. Says I got paid again. Now I can blow half of it on car repairs. Oh, there you go. Jolie is here. Hello Jolie. Thanks for being here. Gonna slurp. Hey, the Real Bill P is here. Welcome to Driver. Hey, all right, Real Bill P. Thanks for being a member. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you for doing that. Let's see. I see, and also during the intro is when I send out, when I share the show out to all my social medias, and I send a little thing to Jolie. Jolie's here, so I guess I don't really need to do that. But and now they have Blue Sky on here, so I can go right to Blue Sky. I could post a little deal to Blue Sky. Lets everyone know over there that we're live. I can share it to Facebook. I can share it to Threads, Substack. I can go into DMs or whatever, and that's usually what I'm doing during the intro. I'm just getting the show out there, just so if there's anyone that's interested in watching, they can just click on that link and it'll take them right to the show. So this is the stuff I usually do during the intro. That I'm doing it right now. Let me just send a couple of these out. Maybe I won't do what I usually do. Probably doesn't make any difference as far as viewership. I don't know. Maybe sometimes one or two people will find it. And the more the merrier, right? That's what I always say. All right, let me just. I don't know. I really don't like Instagram. To tell the truth. All right, so here we are. That's enough. I guess I've done enough of that. Enough of that sharing the show out business. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring my tissue with me. So now I got to use napkins. All right, continuing on, saying hello to everybody. You got Fancy. Fancy's here. Hello, Fancy. Jackie. Hello, Jackie. Robert Perez Says Robert says howdy Jolie and hugs back at you. Teresa. So Teresa's here and see I wasn't able to go all the way back to the beginning of the chat. So hello Teresa. Guess you're here. Josh is here. Fancy says go get your coffee. No audio. Uh-oh. Is there still no audio? How did you know I was going to get coffee then? Josh says, yeah, go get coffee. We'll chat amongst ourselves. Yeah, you chat amongst yourself. Music is here. Good to see music. There's Teresa. We got, let's see, music. Got to get pumped up. Robert Perez, hey, Johnny, now that you got a haircut, now, how about a shave? Do you really want to watch me shave? Is that what this show is coming to? Let's watch Trucker John shave. Hey, Nikki Oliver's here. Hey, Nikki, good to see you. Thanks for being here in the driver's on. There's Aaron West. So we're at full mod power. Anthony Reminiak is here. Good morning to you, Anthony. Good to see you. Thanks for being here in the old driver's lounge. Nikki Oliver with a $4 super sticker. I think that's super sticker. Thanks, Nikki. Thank you so much for supporting the show. That's a great way to do that. And you got that fun little sticker there. Aren't those cute? Steve Sayers is here. Hey, Steve. Good to see you. Let's see. Kimchi's here. Hello, Kimchi. Good to see you. Saying hi to everybody and even mentioning our beloved trolls. Pamela. Hello, Pamela. Good to see Pamela. Jojo Mojo Jojo, my favorite name on the internet, is here. Hello to you, Jojo. Jojo Mojo Jojo. Anthony Reminiak, that healthcare CEO in New York, really pissed someone off. Yeah, I've been listening to that the reports on that. I'll talk about that in a minute here. What I think about that, but that's an interesting story. Very interesting. Robert Perez and internet is supposed to make everything easier, but Johnny looks agitated by the simplicity. I was just agitated because when I push this the button to start the show, it's supposed to go straight to my intro, and I had it set up. I just did that, and for some reason it didn't go in. That's what I was agitated about. Tuwato 106, the smooth sounds of Tuwato 106. It says, my family want me back in Japan next week, so at least I'm away from Murica. There's no getting away from Murica, Tawada. WW's here. Hey, W, good to see you. Let's see if you can keep from getting kicked off like you got kicked off of Hal Sparks the other day. Kimchi says, Tawada ham, mashed potatoes, and southern green beans with ham, hock, and onions tonight. There goes Kimchi, making me hungry. I just had breakfast, so I shouldn't be hungry. I made myself 2 fried eggs, 2 sausage links, some hash browns with cheese, toast, orange juice, and coffee. That was my breakfast, and that's usually what I have almost every morning. Or either instead of fried eggs, I might make an omelet. That's pretty much what I eat every morning when I cook breakfast for myself. If I go out to breakfast at a restaurant, I might switch it up a little bit, get me some pancakes or some French toast. Jolie, I love beards. Yeah, I was kind of letting it grow out for November, I guess you call it. But I didn't get started on that until about halfway through the month. And so I don't know. I can't really grow a big, beautiful beard like Philip Ittner, for instance. My beards are pretty scraggly, patchy. But hey, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You know, it is what it is. What it is. Let's see. I guess I'm almost caught up with the chat here. WW, I don't shave in the winter except my neck. Kimchi says you can make me breakfast anytime, Chugger John. Alrighty. Sure thing. Tuwato 106 says for breakfast, natto. Yes, it is stinky and disgusting. I don't know what natto is apparently. Fancy says coffee is breakfast to me. I can't do that. I can't just have coffee. For me, breakfast is pretty important. I know there are people who don't eat breakfast. I have to eat breakfast. I just gotta. Otherwise, I will get very, very kind of lightheaded and feel like I'm going to faint if I don't eat breakfast. Josh says Phil does have an epic beard. Yes, yes, he does. Aaron says protein shake for breakfast. I'd rather just do it the other way around. Have a nice hearty breakfast and just have a protein shake for lunch. Maybe I don't know. I have to have lunch is important to me too. I have to have a good lunch or at least a good second meal. Like it might not be exactly lunch, maybe a late lunch, early dinner type of a deal. I don't know. WW says depends on how much I ate the evening before. Anyhow, talking about the CEO of United Healthcare, who was shot in the back and murdered in New York City. I believe it was broad daylight. I've seen the video. It looks like maybe it was an overcast day, but I believe it was during daytime hours. That is amazing, and I'm finding it, and I feel really bad because I'm finding it very hard to find sympathy for this fucker that was shot and murdered. And I'm not advocating for murder. I'm not advocating for violence. But I'm finding it very hard to find any sympathy for that motherfucker. And for all I know, he could have been the nicest guy in the world. He might have been maybe in favor of some sort of healthcare reform. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. But I'm finding it extremely hard to muster up some sympathy. He was only, I think, 50 years old. I think that he's married and got kids. He's got family that loves him, kids that are going to miss him. And I'm finding it hard to have any sympathy. I don't know. What is wrong with me? What the fuck is wrong with me? There's something wrong with me. There's something seriously, seriously wrong with me. Because I'm not, I don't, I'm not, like I said, I'm not happy this happened. I hope the guy gets caught, and arrested and sentenced, go to trial, get sentenced and all that stuff. But I'm just finding it hard to even really like give a fuck. Is it me? Is it just me? Or is this the result of decades and decades and decades of a healthcare insurance industry in this country that has really fucked over the American people continuously with demanding higher and higher premiums and then making you jump through hoops if you ever have anything really serious happen to you when you really need to use the fucking insurance. Look up Wendell Potter. He was a former, I don't know if he was ever a CEO, but uh, he led some departments for some pretty big healthcare companies. And I think he was in charge of looking over claims and denying claims. And he finally got to the point where he couldn't take it anymore, and he got out. He was I don't know if he was CEO. He worked for Cigna. He was pretty high up there, muckety mucker, and he couldn't take it anymore. Of all the people, he knew that he was directly responsible for people being denied care that needed life-saving procedures done and denying them, and they were paying their premiums. They had insurance policies, and he knew that people were being denied, and he couldn't stand it anymore, and he became a whistleblower. He's testified in front of Congress. Look up Wendell Potter if you want to find out more about how the healthcare insurance industry is our problem. We talk about healthcare. It's not so much healthcare that's the problem, it's the healthcare insurance industry that's the problem. So when we talk about that, we need to make reforms. We need to have, a single payer, universal single payer healthcare system, which in a shorthand way, it's been called, Medicare for all, just to make it more easier for people to figure out what single payer universal healthcare means. Well, basically, it's Medicare for all. So yeah, I mean, I don't wish violence and on anyone. I don't wish murder on anyone. But like I said, I find it very hard to get any type of sympathy. But maybe these healthcare executives, maybe this will be a wake-up call to them. They'll probably won't be. They'll probably just go, "This guy was nuts," which he probably was with Schroeder, and they'll just strengthen their security or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take, man. But this is not the answer. I mean, murdering people is not the answer. But like I said, somebody was not happy with some decision. This shooter, I think, is going to come down to they're found bullet casings where the shooter, or I'm assuming is a shooter, but on the bullet casing was written. I think there was three that they mentioned on the news. It was something like deny. What was it? I think they all started with D. It was very illiterate. Very the alliteration. But it was obvious that you know that this was about not being very happy with the way insurance companies, and probably United Healthcare in specifically. This person probably had a claim, probably was a United Healthcare uh, customer, and probably either he or someone in his family, uh, probably got sick, probably got cancer, or needed something, and it was denied. That's what I'm seeing. Who knows though? Who knows? Maybe I'm just speculating too much. Fancy says, I hear they weren't approving people's anesthesia, which is ridiculous on its face. No one's going to go into major surgery without anesthesia. So that should be covered. Nikki Oliver says, I hope we have insurance when Trump gets in. Well, when Trump gets in, I mean, I don't know what he's going to be able to do, but he wants everything to be privatized. Certainly doesn't want Medicare or Medicare for all. He certainly doesn't want anything like that. Fancy says, anyone here from Blue Sky? Fancy, they are sure liking my post. Yeah, Fancy's really taken off over there at Blue Sky. I think I'm at 900 followers now. And a lot of you guys have like thousands. It's just amazing how how it works, how different platforms work differently. MJ Daniel and Americans voted to make things much worse. The problem is a lot of Americans didn't even bother to vote. And a lot of voters were probably purged out, you know. 12106 says basically the better off other people are, the better off I am. I want only peace in my neighborhood. I want only peace in my neighborhood. Yeah, it's the old, high tides lift all boats type of thing, you know. Seha's here. Hey, Seha says, nobody knows, but I'd bet money some loved one died because of $20,000 cancer med they couldn't get, or some surgery got blocked and dude snapped. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Something like that. Robert Perez says, I'm getting people on Blue Sky that are promising me a fortune. I'm not liking the easy money people befriending me. Yeah, I get those too. And that's the same stuff. You know, I used to get that on TikTok a lot. It's either, like crypto and stuff they're trying to sell you, or it's adult, websites, type of thing, which I don't mind. No. But so I either just ignore them, or I'll if they keep, like I told Robert this in a our little chat we had on Blue Sky, and like if they just come on once or twice and they're like, hey baby, what you doing? They're like, come on over to my OnlyFans and or whatever. If they just do that once or twice, and I don't respond, then I don't, I don't care. But if they keep doing it over and over and over again, then I'll block them. Like kind of like three strikes and you're out. If they keep, and the same way with the ones that are like, hey, I've got this great investment thing, or there's one that I get the one where it's like, I just won the lottery and I want to give you some of my money. That those are all bullshit. And if they keep, texting me or DMing me, I guess it did, whatever it's called, like 2 or 3 times, like I said, I'll just block them. MJ Daniel, and I am not sure DJT and Republicans will find a way to blame liberals for this, no matter who it was. Yeah. Pamela says, I have had United Healthcare for years, never a problem. I had United Healthcare for a while when I was with Schneider as a company driver. That was the insurance. I don't remember having any problems, but I never really use it. I never hardly ever go to the doctor or do anything. I've been lucky that way. And all I do remember is it seems like every time it was open season or whatever, you have to like renew it. It seems like the premiums went up every fucking year. Say how it says, laughing out. I said it before, Trucker John. Yeah, you beat me to it. Kim, she says every day is a different episode of Law and Order where the perp is never caught. I just saw a video. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but it's pretty chilling. I mean, this guy, it just shows like the guy who got shot. They blur him out, but they show him just walking. You can see like he has a blue jacket or a blue something on. And all of a sudden, the shooter just comes out, and he just like has that gun just very professionally, or at least very like, no nonsense. Just, and he had a fucking silencer. I mean, I didn't, you see those in the movies all the time, but you hardly ever see that in like some real crime or whatever. And yeah, he just, and then he hopped on an e-bike and sped off. Very efficient. That's why some people are saying this guy was like a professional hitman or something. So maybe someone had a beef, like we were saying, had a with United Healthcare, Maybe they hired a hitman. I don't know. I don't know what the going rate is for a hitman, if people can afford them or not. You know, like just some, unless it was maybe not an ordinary Joe that got screwed over. Fancy's at 36,000. Good for you, Fancy. Wow, that's amazing. Fancy's got 36,000 followers over on Blue Sky. I got 900. MJ Daniel says almost got rid of the ACA last time, and they will try again. I don't know if they almost did. I mean, they did try. Like that was one of the only things they ever did in Congress these under Trump. I think didn't they try like 26 times or something, and it lost every time. And you know the House, they only have a 2-seat advantage in the House. They don't have. I forget what the advantage is in the Senate, but they don't. I don't think they have a filibuster-proof number or anything like that. Um, so I don't think they're going to be able to get rid of the ACA this time either. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Robert Perez says I'm going in for brain surgery tomorrow, and the only ana, I guess anesthesia that I'll need is weed. Are you really getting brain surgery tomorrow, Robert? Well, I hope all goes well. Good luck. I mean, I'll be keeping you in my thoughts, positive thinking, all that good stuff. WW says I got an account but haven't really felt the need for Blue Sky, trying to wean off of social media. Jose Guerrero, it was defend denied. Oh yes, thank you, Jose, but for that. Yeah, there it was. I knew it was all D's, so it was defend, deny, depose. Kind of strange. I don't know what that's coming from. If that's from some manifesto or from somewhere. Uh, if that's some saying of somebody. But yeah, kind of spooky, I think. Seha says, I just re-upped for one more year. If Trump cuts Medicaid, I won't make it 4 years. I think the problem the with Medicaid, the danger is of some states turning it down. I don't know what state you're in, Seha. If you're some states are pretty safe, and there are other states that aren't. So I don't know. WW said I had somebody try to sell me interest in a plastic surgery clinic. Plastic surgery clinic? That is absurd because I have no idea what that even means. Robert Perez, it breaks my heart. I thought they liked me because I was handsome, but they only want my funds. Now, Robert, don't be like the guy that I had as a passenger in Uber who was literally crying after I picked him up from a strip club because he spent so much money there, and he was crying and saying they just act like they like you, but they don't really like you. And I'm trying not to laugh. I'm trying to show some sympathy towards this poor sap. And I'm like, yeah, that's what they do, dude. They act like they love you and want to marry you or whatever, and but they just want you to keep giving them money. And he was doing like private lap dances and stuff like that, which I'm sure aren't cheap. Literally crying. Not I'm not saying crying like as an expression. This dude was literally crying in my back seat about how much money he spent on strippers and how they act like they love you, but they really, like he just had this epiphany in the back seat that they act like they love you, but they just want your money. And this guy wasn't a young kid; he was like in his 40s. And apparently he'd gone there many times before. And he it's kind of like swearing off of something, like when you get you're like hung over the next morning after a big bender, and you're like, I'm never gonna drink again. That's what this guy's like. I'm never going to I'm never going back again. Which, of course, the guy is probably full of shit. He probably went there, the next week. WW says, laughing aloud, Mr. Spock. Oh, Mr. Spock's here. Live long and prosper, Mr. Spock. But W is laughing. He thinks he's funny. Ichabod Deer's here. Hey, Ichabod says, there is video with everything on YouTube, the shooter riding the bike and coming out of the park. Yeah, and there's also another eyewitness that was there, I think, took some pictures of him. I didn't see those, but that was what was being reported. But he was pretty well covered up. He had all you could see is his eyes, basically, and maybe his eyebrows. But he had a hat or a hood, and he had like a mask type of thing. Pretty well covered up. But they're saying that he might have been staying at a hostel. And if he was there and there are witnesses there, I'm sure he wasn't wearing the mask and the whole thing the whole time. They might be able to get a description of him from the time that he was staying there. Seha said, I saw unredacted video. He had several gun jams. Really? Wow. But yeah, from the clip I saw was only like a few seconds, and it was kind of like he just came out. It was just like boom, 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 and then the guy took off. So it looked very, clean and professional or whatever. But I didn't see the one you saw, Seha. So you go out, dear. I used to work at the GM building right around the corner. Wow. Seha says he was no pro. He was pissed. Well, whether or not he was a pro or not, it was well planned, I think, with his getaway and all that. It seems like most times people don't even like they'll probably end up catching the guy, but it seems like most of the time you hear stories where they pretty much catch him like right away. Robert Perez, I got 9 followers. I guess I'm Blue Sky. Josh says Ian on Forgotten Weapons has a short on. It says it was an amateur setup for the pistol. As long as it wasn't a potato, would duct tape a potato to the end of the barrel, then whatever. I don't know. Jojo Mojo Jojo says, well, they can weaken it but not kill it. Yeah, they can gut it and weaken it and all that. As far as like Medicare, they can. And so we'll just see how much they do. Well, I guess we'll have to, or ACA, if we were talking about, because they did kind of weaken it in some places when Trump was the president too. So yeah, they keep chipping away at it. That's why it would have been really, really, really nice to get Kamala Harris in there. So instead of weakening things like Social Security and Medicare and the ACA, we could continue to strengthen them. So now we're going to have to do everything we can to have these Republicans do as little damage as possible. That's all we're going to be doing. We won't be making any gains. All we'll be doing for the next 4 years is trying to lessen the blows as much as we can and just survive and hang on, and then hopefully get a good Democrat in there for 2028. And get things going again. But it's just continually say this: one step back, 2 steps backward. And that's why it kind of upsets me when Hal Sparks talks about incrementalism all the time, and that how you can't expect things to be all done in one fell swoop or whatever. Well, yeah, if we could get some consistency where we're not always going 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards, then I'd be all for this incremental thing, doing things a little bit at a time, forward, at a little step at a time, whatever. But we're not doing a step forward. We're going 1 step forward and 2 steps backward, and that which really isn't true, because I don't know if we're really going backwards, but
we certainly aren't going as forward as much as we should be. And it just delays the progress that we could be making. If just going back to 1981 when Ronald Reagan became president, if we didn't have Reagan and Pappy Bush, whatever, Bush Senior, and we didn't have W, and we didn't have Trump, and we had just good solid Democrats in there the whole time and good Democratic Congresses the whole time, we would be 100 years ahead of where we are right now. That's what I believe. So we do need some big jumps. We can't just when we can get them, because the incrementalism isn't working if we're constantly going back to a Trump administration type of a deal. W says no, 2-seat majority. I said that I'm talking about the Republicans, have a 2-seat majority. So you're an idiot. Why are you getting me all worked up? Hey, Jupiter Judy's here. Good to see Jupiter Judy. Thanks for coming into the chat here and hanging out with us for a bit today. Always good to see Jupiter Judy. Fancy thinks the shooter's from a disgruntled member. Robert Perez says, just kidding. I have no brain to operate on. It just burned. It got burned in the process. Well, in any case, I hope you're okay. I guess the weed helps. I don't know. With whatever's going on. Ichabod Deer says, lots of experience with weapons. Thanks to my dad and West Point. Where were you, Ichabod Deer, during the time of this shooting? I'm just kidding. Ichabod Deer never hunted. Jupiter Judy says Trump wants to delete Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and much more. He can want all he wants. We'll see what gets through. Like I said, we're going to be spending the next 4 years just trying to lessen the blow as much as we can. It's like the wolves are at the door, and we're just going to try to keep holding the door shut for the next 4 years. I'm just skipping down a little bit here because we were already talked about a lot of this stuff here. Let's see. Perez, that's why I don't drink alcohol anymore, because a drunk fool and his money always apart. Jupiter Judy, the bank photo is full face from 3/4 view. Wow. Like I said, they're going to catch the guy eventually, but Ichabod Deer says, I think he was wearing a disguise, wanted to be caught on camera. Mr. Spock got another rat in a rat trap last night. Up to 7 rats dispatched. I think they are working better since I started using Trump cologne as bait. That's pretty funny. Ichabod Deer, I suspect a lot of deception to throw law enforcement off the track. Well, Perez, I don't have cable TV. What is going? Is there another shooting? Well, yeah, that was the CEO of United Healthcare was murdered in broad daylight in New York City yesterday. Now, there was another shooting I heard on the news, very, very horrible, in near Sacramento, California. Apparently, I don't know. I don't know if this is some person that went into the school and I maybe had a meeting with a teacher. I was I guess, disgruntled or unhappy about something. Walks outside into the schoolyard, shoots 2 little kindergartners, and then turns the gun on themselves and commit suicide. That's horrible for the kindergartners. I don't give a fuck about the person who committed suicide, but it's really horrible about those kids. Now they describe them as being in extreme critical condition, and as far as I know, just prior to going on here, they were still alive. Those two little kids, and I was just thinking, if they do survive, they may have, I don't know the extent of these injuries. They may have lifelong conditions because of this now, not just mental and emotional, but physical. So that was really horrible to hear that. I don't know what that person's deal was, why they felt compelled to shoot two kindergartners, before shooting themselves. And I've thought, I've thought about those type of things too. Why do people who are suicidal, they go out and they want to take a few people down with them, and then they're either going to do suicide by cop or they're going to do themselves in. And I've always sort of speculated in my very uneducated kind of way that they want to inflict as much pain onto other people as what they're feeling. They want people to know the pain that they're feeling emotionally. So they'll kill other innocent people because they know that will cause a lot of emotional pain and grief to the survivors of those people that were killed. The family members and the spouses and things. And so that's what I've always speculated about that. In this case, the one in the Sacramento, or it wasn't actually Sacramento, it was Oro Gold or something, just right out of the Sacramento area. I don't know what that person's beef was, but it's just a horrible story. Just to think about two little innocent little kindergartners, being shot. Hopefully they survive. I haven't heard the latest, and almost an hour now since the last time I watched the news. But I hope those kids pull through, and I hope that their injuries won't be like lifelong things. But who knows? They're just little kids, man. But really, really horrible. Let's see. See how it says, laughing out loud. Potato on the barrel cut in half. Tennis balls with steel wool buffers. The PVC works, but steel wool buffers in PVC works better. All right, Seha. See, you've assassinated your share of people. Just kidding. Ichabod Deer says, amazing how Musk doesn't care about the cost of health insurance for all his companies. You never hear corporate execs complaining about it. Double the cost of the next nation, 23% of GDP. Musk doesn't give a fuck. Vivek Ramaswamy doesn't give a fuck. Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck. All they care about is themselves and making more money for themselves. And Donald Trump is lining his entire administration with billionaires. They're almost all billionaires, or if not, they're very wealthy. Almost everyone he's got lined up for his cabinet positions and to be in his administration, in his inner circle, they're all fucking billionaires, and it's disgusting. What about draining the swamp? To me, these are the swampiest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. Nikki Oliver says we need to take the House in 2026. Absolutely. Absolutely, Nikki. Let's try to get the Senate too while we're at it. But definitely, I mean, they only have a 2-seat margin. WW, like I've been saying, they, meaning the Republicans, you douche. I'm talking W, have a 2-seat majority in the House. And who knows if they'll even keep that majority by the time the next election comes around. So that's why we got to hang in there and stay strong and not give up. because this was not a mandate. Donald Trump only was won by barely over a percentage point in the popular vote. This was not a mandate. Let's be strong. Let's hang in there. And let's try to get more people to vote next time. Robert Perez, think about not been watching TJ and getting the grandkids ready for school so far today. That's cool, man. That's cool. Think about dear agreed, Trucker John. I'm not sure what you agreed on because I'm probably 15 minutes behind in the chat. But I'm glad that we agree on something, Ichabod. I'm very glad to see that because sometimes we don't. We've had our differences in the past, so it's nice to see that we agree on something. Fancy says they steal from me. They are so bad, I have to stay away. Oh, I think you're talking about your family, some family members, maybe. I don't know. Josh says was watching George Carlin this morning. Still so relevant. The thing about George Carlin, the problem I have about George Carlin is, and maybe this is part of his genius, but the way he worded things is that there are people on the right wing, that quote him as well, just as much as we do. You know what I mean? Like what he says a lot of times can be taken from both sides, from both ways, and maybe that's his genius as far as from a marketing standpoint. Like he didn't alienate anyone because both sides think that he's talking to them. You know. 56 Nick Rich is here. Hey Nick, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Says like number 38, 9:45. Oh, I'm 10 minutes behind. I'm 10 minutes behind. So there's John Smith is in here. So I guess I skipped down and I didn't see John. Oh, there's John. Love it. My guy Trump is a rapist piece of shit. There you go. You're reading. You see my little signs back here. Thanks, John Smith, for being here, by the way. Good to see you. I don't think I've seen you before, so welcome to the Driver's Lounge, and make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and all that good stuff. Think about deer 250 miles north. Okay, yeah. So I was making a joke about where were you on the time of the shooting? Nick Rich, who knew I was here first? Oh, I didn't. I wasn't able to scroll back up to the very beginning, so I don't know who was here first. But non-useful with a $20 super chat. Get out of here. Get out of here, you. You. Non-useful says, Merry Christmas, John. Give a homeless person a burger and coffee and a few minutes of your wisdom. I would love to do that. And I was thinking about doing that because I was talking to a homeless person a few weeks ago, and I mentioned it on the show. I guess it was probably a couple of months ago now. And I really kind of wanted to go back and see if that guy would be interested in being recorded and either doing a video or we could do a live stream or whatever. And because I gave the guy some money, but that type of thing kind of interests me. Kimchi says, Josh, one evergreen in my yard wriggling like a Hawaiian hula dancer, kind of turning me on. Wow. Nikki Oliver, seniors will be furious, yes, about these issues of Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security. If we lose that, or these things get weakened, seniors will be furious. And I know there's a lot of seniors that vote for Democrats, but I think there's also a lot of seniors that vote for Republicans. So seniors, stop voting for Republicans. If you want to keep your Medicare and you want to keep your Social Security, stop voting for Republicans. God damn it. Mr. Spock, so when is Trump going to invade Canada? Trump ain't going to invade shit. Christina Weimel's here. Hey, Christina, good to see you. Thanks for dropping on into the driver's lounge. Christina says, hello, John, and everyone in the chat room from a blue dot in Florida. Just got done watching Tennessee Brando live. He's got a good show. He's a good guy. He's a good egg. I don't watch too many of his live streams, but I do watch some of his videos that he puts up. I would say Tennessee Brando's a good egg. Robert Perez, I'm still just hearing it from the Trucker John Breakfast Show. Wow, Johnny, you're my KFWB 1070. Thanks for the news. All the news. Ichabod Deer says, I really like the TV show The Jackal. New shows every Thursday on Peacock. I haven't watched that, but I think I've seen the little sort of the little teaser of it. It looks interesting. I remember way back, there's been, like, the Jackal was a real person, right? A real assassin, really notorious. And I think there's been the Day of the Jackal. I think there's been fictionalized accounts of it, right? But I think it's based on a real person, if I'm not mistaken. And I forget if they ever caught the guy, or maybe they caught him and they weren't sure if they got him or not. But the person that the Jackal is based on, I think, killed hundreds of people. Assassinated or whatever. Was it like a hitman? Hey, John Doe says, "What's up, Mr. Trucker John?" Hello, John Doe. We got John Smith and we got John Doe. So hey, but thanks for being here. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in the driver's lounge. Kimchi says 34 degrees, 37-mile wind gusts. Yeah, I did see on the weather report, or on the news, they did the weather, and yeah, it looks like the whole eastern half of the United States is getting socked in, especially like the Great Lakes regions, the Northeast, along the East Coast there. You guys are really getting hit hard, so hunker down and stay warm and stay careful. Be careful out there. I don't know what was in China. I don't know what you guys are talking about. If you're talking about the shooting that I just heard about this morning was in Sacramento, California, or it was just out of Sacramento, California. But there's so many shootings it could be in. There probably is one in China too. Hey, Don't Ho says unchecked mental illness will be America's terminal illness. Yeah, mental illness is a part of healthcare. It should be a part of healthcare just as much as physical illness. That's for sure. William says the people in the country of Georgia are fighting back. They don't want authoritarianism. They don't want, Putin's toxic dictatorship to spread to them. I don't blame them. Zelensky is going to impose sanctions against them, and the Biden administration has said that they are thinking about doing that too. The only sad part or bad part is that, of course, when Trump gets in office, he'll just undo those. But Robert Perez says, "Hey Johnny, you're the new Johnny Scarborough." Fuck no, I'm not. If you're talking about Joe Scarborough, because that guy is a Republican, for one thing. I've never been a Republican in my life. And he's a Trump fucking bootlicker. Fancy says, I posted TJ's live stream and it's getting likes. I was wondering if they are coming over. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, anyone who got here via Blue Sky, let me know. Maybe that's where we're getting John Doe and John Smith and stuff like that. I don't know. Because those are new faces, new names. But thank you, Fancy, for helping to promote the show for me over there on Blue Sky. Ichabod Deer, lead poison the Romans. They lined the aqueducts for their water supply with lead to prevent leaks. Yeah, that was not one of their brighter ideas. Um, Maybe they should have just lined it with clay or something. I don't know. Ichabod Deer lead is still used in aviation fuel for prop planes. That was a good fun fact. MJ Daniel says no shortage of sick psychotic people with easy access to firearms in the USA thanks to the GOP and NRA. Yep. Mike H is here. Hey, Mike H. Good to see you. Says Crank It Up Truckers. Hey, Mike H. Good morning to you. I guess it might be noon where you're at. I think you're in the Central Time Zone. Mike H. One of our, as Kim Shi would put it, I think lovable troll. Is it lovable trolls that you said? I don't know. Something like that. John Doe says if you and half alternate your morning shows, half Monday, we Friday, John, Tuesday, Thursday. Wait, what? You don't like my schedule? I was going to come on yesterday after Hal, and I probably could have done it because I got home. I had to go. I took my car back over to Hertz, the rental. I did that yesterday. I was going to do it on Tuesday, but I ended up not doing it until yesterday morning. And I didn't get back to the house here until 11:40. So I guess I could have hopped on and gone live, but I didn't feel like it. In case anyone was wondering, because I was saying on Tuesday, I was saying that I was going to do that, and I ended up not doing it. Ichabod Deer says, I think I could have supplied material for Carlin, not to toot my own horn. Well, kind of sounds like you are. Anthony Reminiak says, words can always be interpreted differently, but numbers are constant and unchanging. I'm still 10 minutes behind Nick, it looks like. Aaron West got to jump into a meeting. All right. Thanks for being here, and you're probably gone already, and good luck with your meeting. All that good stuff. Penny to Create's here. Hello, everyone in the lounge. Hello, Penny to Create. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. We're just chilling. I think we're just chilling. Are we chilling? I'm pretty much chilling now that I got over the debacle where my intro didn't play for some reason, and I was just sitting and I had no idea. It's a good thing I wasn't knuckle deep in my nose or something, But I wasn't paying attention. I was like looking at my iPad here, trying to get that thing started, and then I looked up and I'm like, wait, where's the intro? Why is the intro not playing? And I'm like, oh shit, I'm on right now. I'm live. I'm still a little upset about that. Oliver Brownlow is here. Oliver says Carlin has some funny routines, but the one discouraging people from voting hasn't aged very well. Yes, he says stuff like that. And I'm like, no, George, I'm not on board with that. Maybe that's where TYT got that shit. I don't know. Fancy says, no, not about you. Level out. She asked me to do it. Okay, I'm mid-thread. Again, folks. So I don't know what that one's about. Ichabod Deer says they caught him. Looks like the shooter we were talking about. Breaking news. This is breaking news, probably from 10 minutes ago. Are you talking about? Oh, no. Okay, we're talking about the Jackal. Reverse that. It wasn't about the today shooter or yesterday shooter. I guess we're talking about that they caught him. It says, yeah, Ichabod Deer, the 1970s movie based on reality. They caught him. Okay, so they caught the Jackal. But wasn't Richard Gere? Was that his movie? I think there's been more than one movie with at least referencing the Jackal. Besides this Peacock show you're talking about. I think over the years, I think I've seen a few movies where they at least the Jackal was mentioned or was in there, but and then post the Day of the Jackal. I think was a novel. I'm almost thinking like that was a Robert Ludlum novel. And Ludlum was Born Identity, and his stuff is fiction. But I'm pretty sure didn't he? Who did the Day of the Jackal? Wasn't that a novel, and then they made a movie out of it, right? Anyhow, I don't know. Think about Deer. I remember where I saw that movie in 1970s with my parents, Cape Cod. Alvin Stube is here. Hey, Alvin, good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the driver's lounge. We're just kicking it. We're chilling, talking about all kinds of stuff here. Kimchi says, "Congrats, Ichabod. Can you put a word in for me? They don't have nearly enough mods." Oh, I don't know what show that or what channel you guys are talking about. Josh, I once gave a homeless guy a couple of cigs and $1, and he wanted to give me a grilled cheese sandwich. I said, "Keep it already. I already had dinner." See there, here this guy is a homeless guy, and he still wanted to thank you by giving you something that he had of value. Oliver Brownlow says, blame Canada with their beady little eyes and flapping heads so full of lies. Blame Canada. Blame Canada. Fancy says there's a homeless guy at the end of my block, lives in his camper. I gave him food and water, or I give him food and water sometimes. That's nice of you. That's nice. No, it is nice. Robert, I think all the tea is in China. Nikki Oliver, what do you think about Trump with DeSantis pick? Again, it's my theory of the less smelly turd. I guess it's a theory. What we're seeing is, Trump will bring out the smelliest turd that he can find, and everyone, protests about it and complains about it. And then so he's like, okay, I'll pick this one then. This one's a little less smelly. And everyone's like, well, thank goodness. Thank good. They're just so happy not to have that heaping, smoldering pile of shit that he first proposed. Then the one he brings out after it's a little less stinky, a little less smelly, a little less ripe or whatever. And everyone's like, okay, oof, yeah, there you go. That's I think that's his strategy. I think that if Strump, I'm going to call him Strump from now on. Everyone else has their names. I'm going to start calling him Strump. I don't know why. Maybe just because I have a speech impediment. I don't know. But if Strump is going to has any strategy at all, has any thinking ability, any type of tact whatsoever, that may be it. Hey, non-useful with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much again, helping out the show. Non-useful says, wonder how many mud flaps will be defiled under Min Grope and Fuhrer in Chief Herr Twitler. I don't know. I've never even thought about that. Carol Alana's here. Hey, Carol, good to see you. Says, howdy, late joining in Ohio. Had damaging winds again last night. Worried something would hit or break windows. Colder than shit, too. Yeah, man. Whew. Be careful out there. This would probably be a good time. I know I'm just over the holiday, over Thanksgiving. We got into with my son and my daughter and my ex. Somehow we got into a conversation about shutters. My ex likes shutters. My son really isn't a big fan of shutters, apparently. And so your post there reminded me of shutters. That might be a good time. That might be a time when you wish you had shutters on your windows. So that at least if something goes crashing through, well, I guess if something is really, a big enough crash, it would crash right through the shutters also. But I don't know. They might provide some protection. But be careful, Carol, out there. Try to stay safe, stay warm, and hunker down. It looks pretty gnarly out there in some of those places. So, yeah, be careful. Ichabod Deer, Carlos the Jackal, Venezuelan. Ichabod Deer, Ilch Ramirez Sanchez was the Jackal. WW, tiny bit of snow in Rockford, Illinois. Didn't stick, but freezing cold. Oliver Brownlow, Nikki Oliver, I think Trump is an asshole, and all of his picks are assholes. Well, there you go. I couldn't have said it better myself, Oliver. Ichabod Deer says the real Jackal is 75 and still alive in prison. Well, look at there. Going to live to a ripe old age in a prison. Nick Rich says, I can't believe how many Blue Sky followers I've got. Well, look at you, Nick. How many have you got? I'm sure probably way more than I got. Hey, Fancy, welcome to Driver. Thank you, Fancy. Fancy is now a driver. I do appreciate you. Always good to have members. I think we've got like 70-something members, I think. 74, 75. Fancy might be the 75th member. So, yeah, be a member, help support the show, help us grow. I can get better signage, maybe, as I look at my signs in the background. Maybe we can get an upgrade on the signs. I don't know. Oliver Brownlow, that's Russia-backed NRA. Yeah, Russia sent them a lot of money, didn't they? Non-useful says the real Jackal will be sworn in on the Satanic Bible come January 20th, 2025. Think about Deer. I prefer the Satanic Bible over the Christian one. I've never read the Satanic one, so I can't weigh in. Hey, Walter Makarovich is here. I haven't seen Walter in a while. Good to see Walter. Walter says, good morning, Trucker John. Just a quick hello and wondering if you're going to Dallas versus Vegas NHL game tomorrow night. I wasn't planning on it. I would like to go to a game. I've never gone to a Golden Knights game. I would like to do that at some point. Nick Rich, I'm certain that Fancy helped increase my Blue Sky followers to 789. Fancy says, want more, Rich? I don't know about Rich, but yes, I want more. I want like 100,000. WW says, never heard of the Satanic Bible. I heard of the Satanic Verses. Yeah, I don't know. I don't keep up on the satanic stuff all that much. I don't keep up on even the Christian stuff all that much, to tell the truth. Ichabod Deer, I think the nose on the shooter is a prosthetic. Ichabod Deer says The Day of the Jackal is a 1973 political thriller film directed by Fred Zinnemann and starring Edward Fox and Michael Lonsdale, based on the 1971 movie of the same name by Frederick Forsyth. Wow, thanks for that. Thanks for that little Wikipedia or IMDb rundown on that. I think I saw the movie, but if I did see it, it was probably in the 70s, and it's been so long I forget. But or at least I saw the trailers on it, and I'm pretty sure that the Jackal has been used just even in fiction. That name comes up, because it's very notorious, Robert Lewis is here. Robert says, I need a little background. I don't know what you're doing here. Maybe I could help. Are you talking to me? You talking to me? You talking to me? Robert Lewis? Here's what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I read the chats back to you, and we talk about stuff. We talk about the stuff in the news, and we talk about some politics, and we talk about homeless people, we talk about Las Vegas because I'm in Vegas, etc., etc. You know, it's just a free form, kind of a free form format. You know. But hey, Robert, good to see you. Robert Lewis, I see a lot of familiar names here. We have a lot of sparklers here and some non-sparklers as well. Carol Alana says they say shooter of that CEO was a pro. Was a pro. Was a pro. Oh, it was a pro. Okay. Yeah, and then etched words on casings left a message. It was retaliation for not paying claims, which I suspected. Only America makes sick people bankrupt. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Carol, about that, and someone told me what it was, and I've already forgotten. I know they all start with the letter D, and one of them was deny, and deposed. I think deposed or deposed was the other one, and I forget the other one. Yeah, and I think we've all sort of been speculating that he was either someone who, you know, got denied a claim or had a loved one that had their claim denied, and he's retaliating for that. You know, Robert Lewis, I would like to discuss drugs. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Uh, discuss whatever you like as long as it doesn't involve hate speech or blatant disinformation. Okay? Other than that, I think we're good. I think. Let's see. WW portrayed by Edward Fox. Okay, we've already got that. The Day of the Jackal. Bruce Willis, the Jackal. Oh, Eddie Redmayne, The Day of the Jackal. So I guess there have been, several either remakes or just other, stories on it. Yeah, it comes up a lot over the years. The Jackal. Uh, think about Dear at Kimchi. Lisa is having a lot of trouble with an ex. DV be soft on her. I don't know what DV means. Divorce, maybe. I don't know. Well, Mr. Bob Newell, here's Sugar John. Hey, Mr. Bob Newell. Haven't seen Mr. Bob Newell in a while. Thanks for being here, Mr. Bob Newell. Always good to see Mr. Bob Newell in the driver's lounge. Mike H., how about Dr. Oz in charge of Medicaid? Who would have thought that one? The funny thing about that, or sad maybe thing, is that I'm not surprised. Coming from Donald Trump, I swear to God, I'm just going to call him Trump from now on. It doesn't. I didn't see it really coming necessarily, but it didn't surprise me, not one bit. Hey, non-useful. Another $2 super chat says stale poop is less stinky. Yeah, when it gets dried, that's like when it's dried, it's been sitting out there for a while. It's not fresh; it's stale. Yeah, yeah, that's probably less stinky. The stink seems to go away a little bit, but still, I'm not a fan of it. I don't want to. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to see it. I don't want it to be around me. Nevertheless, but I suppose if my choices were the fresh steaming pile of shit that really that aroma just wafts up into your face. If my choice was that or the old one that's been sitting out in the sun for a while and isn't quite as stinky, I guess I would take that one. To belabor the analogy there. Robert Lewis, I was born again Christian. Do you want to know what happened? Sure. What the hell? I was a born again Christian myself. More than once. I think I was born again more than once. Robert Lewis, I played that song called Losing My Religion, and I did. Oh, is that the REM one? Is that REM, right? Losing my religion. I got a white man overbite. Losing my religion. Anyhow, MJ Daniel says it may be longer, but I am sticking with Mad King Drumpf, the flatulent. Mad King Drum the Flatulent. There you go. I like it. I like it. Kimchi. Shutters are classic. Go easy on that woman. Okay. Robert Lewis. I love Nevada. I'm used to it. I've lived in the desert my whole life. Grew up in California, just a couple-hour drive from here. So to me, this is still like kind of like home, even though I just moved here 5 years ago to Vegas. Uh, what else we got going on here? Robert Lewis, I have to go in that state now and then. Are you a driver, Robert? Like a truck driver? Think about dear Robert Lewis. I saw REM open for the Police, 1983, I think. Robert Lewis, I was thinking of something different. Um, Robert Lewis, I listened different artists that perform that song. He's the best. Unfortunately, someone's better than him on his own song. That makes sense. I don't know. Hey, WW, welcome to Driver. So WW is a driver now. I think, yeah. Well, thank you, WW. Even though I lash out at you and I call you names, there you are. There you are. So thank you very much. I appreciate you. I think maybe a bit of sadomasochistic tendencies there, maybe by WW. I'm only too happy to provide. Robert Lewis, it's like what the band Who's Next? That would be the Who. Josh, REM versus Radiohead. There's an argument waiting to happen. Radiohead. I'm sorry. Radiohead. I'll take Radiohead over REM any day of the week. Sorry. Not sorry. Robert Lewis says, "Not me. I'm not dead yet. I'll give condolences to him. I'm glad I'm not dead. Sorry, Robbie. See, that was his name. Oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of mid-thread, so I might have missed that someone died. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that. Yeah, my condolences. Because I am about 8 minutes behind the chat. Walter Bukovic says, "What's up? The new network Ojeda was talking about last night. He said something about all these channels, including how Sparks involved. I heard that too, and I was watching it. I wasn't in the chat because I had it playing on my TV, and I was playing a game while I was watching it, and so I wasn't in the chat. But I was saying, I was kind of like yelling at the TV. What about Trucker John? What about the Trucker John live stream show? Can I be in the network too? I want to be in the network. Ojeda, put me in your network. I'm a lefty. I'm a good old lefty out of left field or whatever. But yeah, other than that, I don't know anything about it. He mentioned it, but yeah, I don't know how a network works. I mean, I guess you could make a channel for it, and then just put all these different content creators on it, like just post all of their videos and stuff. I guess. So if you guys want to see Trucker John on Ojeda's network he's putting together, it might take you guys to reach out to Ojeda, the major, there, and say, "Hey, have you heard of Trucker John? Why don't you put him on your network too? Why don't you do that, Major?" I don't know, because I think it was the sort of the interest that some of you had about me going on Hal Sparks show that got me. I was actually on Hal Sparks as a guest one time a couple months ago, and I think that was because you guys maybe you were showing up in the chats and saying, "Hey, why don't you put Trucker John on?" And I think they were. I think they listened. So maybe I can get Ojeda's network, and it's going to take maybe you guys to go, "Hey, why don't you put Trucker John in your network?" I don't know, just a thought. It's just the thought. It's the thought that counts. Fancy, be right back. Coffee run. MJ Daniel says we could talk about the acid trip I had in 1980. What a ride that was. I think the only acid I ever took was fake acid, maybe, that I bought and got ripped off for because nothing really happened. But the mescaline I took, now that was a trip. The mescaline, that was heavy. That was a heavy trip, and I only did that once. Robert Lewis says drugs could be very bad if you don't understand the chemistry of the dangers. If you, and that was back in '81 or so. But just so you know, I don't want people to think I'm tripping out on mescaline, every day or something. This was a one-time thing in 1981 or '82, something like that. WW says, "Yep, Ichabod. Lots of nations want to pay with their own worthless currency." I'm mid-thread. I was mid-thread. I'll admit mid-thread. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. Non-useful member for 2 months. Driver, I prefer my shekels going to you than the casino. Yes, absolutely. Any of you who have a compulsion to gamble, wherever you are, you might have an Indian casino or something nearby, some casino, whatever it is. Whenever you have that compulsion to vote, well, that too. But if you have a compulsion to gamble, just send the money to me. Send it to the Trucker John channel. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. One day we will have top of the line signage. Robert Lewis says, I had a kidney stone and I had to use oxen. Oxen? The pain was that, is that like Oxycontin or whatever? I don't know. The pain was that excruciating. I love that drug, but that was the end after the pain went away. I remember one time, I used to have really bad back flare-ups, bad back injuries when I was working with the Postal Service, because the way I describe my job as a mail processor, I describe that job as being stoop labor, because you're basically stooped over, scooping mail out of these bins and putting them into plastic trays and loading them into bonus builts or whatever. But the stoop labor part is mainly when you're getting the mail, because the mail is being fed in all these bins at a high rate of speed. So you're going back and forth and you're scooping mail and you're trying to get it before it fills up. It's kind of like almost like Lucy in the chocolate candy factory. And you do that year after year, night after night. My back was going out on me. And sometimes it would just be, okay, take a few days off. We'll take some Vicodin or something, or just take some extra strength Tylenol or whatever. But there was this one time it was so freaking bad. I could barely even walk. I couldn't move without being in excruciating pain. And the doctor actually prescribed me I think it was codeine. Was it codeine? I think it was codeine. Because usually I think they would just prescribe, like I said, what's the other one? What's the one that Brett Favre got hooked on? It's kind of a common painkiller for like sports injuries or something like that. I can't remember the name of it now, but you guys know what it is. But anyhow, this one time he gave me codeine, and I took this codeine at home. I went home, and I was just like, oh my God, this is the greatest fucking drug. Oh, I love this drug, because I completely felt no pain, and I just felt kind of euphoric, and then I just drifted off to sleep. This is the most sound sleep, and then I woke up the next day or whatever, and of course my back was still sore because it was just the codeine that masks the pain, and the guy wrote me out for like 2 weeks or something. So I was at home, or maybe it was a week, whatever. It was at least a week, maybe 2 weeks. And he prescribed me this codeine, and I was taking codeine. But almost immediately, you know how your body builds a resistance? From the time of that first dosage to the second dosage, it was never the same as that first dosage. They say the first time, you never forget your first or whatever. That first dosage of the codeine was like I had died and gone to heaven, and I could absolutely see how people can get hooked on drugs because you're trying to chase that high because your body almost always will, you know, sort of resist or build up a resistance, or that high isn't the same, and so you're chasing that high. You want to get, you're trying, and so whether it's illegal drugs, like heroin or whatever, people are chasing that high. They're upping the dosage. They're taking more. They're just trying to get that high that they once felt. And they probably never quite get it again, or they do, but it'll be maybe it's just doesn't last as long or whatever. So I could totally kind of relate just on that one incident, or that one incident, or of taking that codeine, and I went ahead and took it for the rest of the prescription and for that rest of that time off. But it just wasn't the same. I mean, it helped, it helped kill the pain, and all of that. But it wasn't like the very first dosage that was just like amazing. I can still almost remember it to this day how amazing I felt on that. And then just going from that first dosage to the second dosage, like the next day when I took it, it just wasn't. It wasn't the same. It's kind of weird how weird drugs can be. But anyhow, yeah, if you're going to spend money, um, sort of on things that will probably never give you a return, send it to Trucker John instead. Robert Lewis says I had a kidney stone and I had to use. Okay, I read that. Yeah, that's what got me in the whole thing about the coding. Freevent 28's here. Hey, Freevent, good to see you. Says, dear, did you see Russia getting billions hard currency and trading for crypto? I didn't see that. Hey, Mike H with a $19.99 super chat. Merry Christmas early. Thank you so much, Mike H. All right, Mike H, you lovable troll. Thanks for supporting the show. Help keep us going here. Keep it running. I do appreciate you for that. WW says I took Norco for several years. Now I use THC carts. Just as good and not addictive. Walter McCarvich says, Trucker John, I didn't know the Matterhorn was located in Canada. Hee hee ha ha. I don't know what that's in reference to. Because maybe Trump said it? Okay. Fancy says, Radiohead was my vote. There, I got me and Fancy. We're Radiohead over. Not that there's some REM songs I like. I think they're good. They were a good band and everything, but I just like Radiohead better. Kim Shee, Radiohead, the end. Mike H, I'm not a troll. Okay, Mike. Thank you. Thank you so much for the supporting the show. Kim Shee says, blessed Yuletide unto you, my honored troll acquaintance. And that's why Mike is saying, I'm not a troll. I know you've changed your ways a lot, but I don't know, sometimes. And like I said, you can have your own opinion. You can do. We don't have to march in lockstep here at the Trucker John live stream. We can have differences of opinions. Like I said, just no hate speech and no disinformation. You know what I mean? Josh says I think I prefer Radiohead too, but REM is solid. Oh yeah, they're definitely solid. Robert Lewis says I have a big concern with Donald Trump and his cult, I guess, followers are using a lot of drugs, dangerous drugs, and I want everyone to be aware of it. That's my mission. Well, we have our suspicions about Trump snorting Adderall, right? His cult, yeah, I don't know. Some of them do look pretty rabid. I don't know what their deal is, but yeah. And Robert Lewis says, douchebag Elon Musk uses ketamine and anesthesia for recreational use, and the guy doesn't go night on it. Yeah, Elon Musk. They're all these billionaire douchebags that live life that's opposite to what they say that they want, or that they propose. I mean, they try to get the evangelical vote, the right wing Christian vote, but I don't think they live very Christian lives. If you know what I mean. Carol Lana says, "Happy Yuletide, Kimchi. We did Solstice Prime ribs for 40 years, complete with Yorkshire puddings, creamed corn, and greens, going to nieces this year." Freevit28 says, "Trucker John has an opinion on everything after living in the desert." Ha! I suppose I do. I don't know. Non-useless says, "Let's take up a collection so Trucker John could be interface with neuro implant just behind the left ear." No, thank you. I think I'll pass on that. Really not interested in a neural implant. WW, we have a new Hard Rock casino in Rockford, Illinois. Fancy says, that Vicodin they gave me for pain made me shake. I only took it once, and that is some bad stuff. Kimchi said acid was okay. Some mushrooms were amazing. Yeah, I did mushrooms a few times in the early 80s. But ecstasy was fun for one and all, in a pile even. I never did ecstasy. Never did it. It seems like ecstasy kind of came around. Now, it might have been around, but it seemed like it kind of came around like after I was done with that whole scene, you know, of partying and stuff. Josh says it took a team of oxen to move the kidney stone, is how I read that. Nick Rich says, "You can't win without a ticket. You can't lose either." Robert Lewis says, "When you're betting that kind of money, you have to look at the percentages and the jackpot, and you're going to come out a winner 80% of the time." I think I'm mid-thread on that one. I'm skipping down. Robert Lewis, I have to hire drivers. I'm mid-thread, so I don't know. Do you have your own little, is it a trucking company or something? Josh says, "I had Vicodin after a hernia surgery, and it did nothing for the pain and put some time into slow motion. I shelled it and went with ibuprofen and ice on and off regimen." Um, Keep elite chasing the high is a losing proposition. Oh, absolutely. Mike H says 2002, 2006 morphine, Percocet, and oxys kept me together. Wow. Well, I'm glad you don't have to do that anymore. Apparently, hopefully. Kimchi says fentanyl is bad juju. Got patches after hospital, and the demons were screaming in my head. Wow. Robert Lewis says it took 10 years to educate doctors to change their thinking of prescribing these types of drugs. Very important to a prescriber, and I knew one personally. Yeah, man. They were prescribing some gnarly shit. Robert Lewis says actually fentanyl is a fantastic painkiller. It's meant for after surgery pain and during surgery pain, and that is all. Billy Kid 73 says I prefer THC for pain these days. Just wish I had then too, but that's the past. Well, yeah, we live and learn, right? If it doesn't kill us, then hopefully we learn from it, from whatever it is. Fancy says they gave me morphine drip next to my bed after surgery, but I didn't use it. I remember I had a morphine drip for something. Was it my knee surgery? I don't know. Robert Lewis says you must have had a real hard time coming off fentanyl. That's actually or awfully hard. I've seen this. It takes 2 years to clear your brain from that. Wow. Ichabod dear, are REM and Radiohead in competition? Well, somebody just mentioned it earlier, Ichabod, about REM versus Radiohead. Um, Okay, I'm just skipping down here a little bit. Ichabod Deer, the only bong hit that works for me is the first one, so I try to do it in the evening. Robert Lewis, this would be one of the effects of cannabis sativa, which has different terpenes than indica. It's really good to be creative. Oliver Brownlow says, "What was Jesus' advice to the rich man? Sell all of your belongings and give to the poor." Nick Rich says, "This conversation reminds me of an AA meeting." Robert Lewis says, "I'm not familiar with well, it's mescaline anyhow, other than San Pedro, and I have no idea what that means." Ichabod Deer, I never drank much alcohol, but now I rarely ever drink. I don't drink that much, but the last couple times going to the supermarket, I've been buying Pabst Blue Ribbon, a beer that's been around forever, but I can't remember the last time I ever bought Pabst Blue Ribbon. So this is a couple months ago, I guess. I was looking in the beer section at Albertsons, and I like the Modelo Negra. That's probably my new favorite. But I was just looking around, and I didn't feel like spending. It was like $20 for a 12 pack, I think, of the Modelo, maybe more. And so then I saw this Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's a 6 pack, and I think those are tall boys. I think they're tall cans for $6.99. So I was like, shit. I think I've had Pabst Blue Ribbon before. I don't think it's a horrible beer. I mean, it's not. It's no Modelo Negra. I'll give you that much. It's no. I don't know. It's no fancy beer. So I bought it and I liked it. And it was only $6.99. And then so the other day I went shopping and it's still $6.99. So I bought another one, a 6 pack of those tall boys. And for $6.99. I mean, I've drank worse. I think it's better than Budweiser. I think it's better than Coors. This Pabst Blue Ribbon. I think it's better than Old Milwaukee. I think it's better than I don't know any of those cheap beers. For a cheap beer, that Pabst Blue Ribbon might be the best cheap beer out there. Think about Deer Modelo. That's a MAGA beer. What they switched to from, but I like Modelo. I have no idea about it being a MAGA beer, but I like the Modelo Negra. Carol Lana says, "I've never done recreational drugs and born in California. Do drink beer, tiny bit of Cabernet wine with good beef. I'm pretty boring as pilot. You had to be non-drugged up." Oh yeah, absolutely. And me as a truck driver, I was subject to getting a random drug test at any time. So I couldn't even risk taking any THC products or even CBD, which supposedly isn't CBD supposed to be like there's no THC in it and all that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't even take a chance with that. Non-use says THC in a transdermal patch directly on pain works for me. Robert Lewis, I love codeine, which is converted into morphine. Once it metabolizes. Josh says, "Hello, Ichabod. You are near me in upstate. Non-useful. Milwaukee's best is a cheap beer." Yes, that is a cheap beer. Janelle Walker. Hey, Janelle. Good to see you. We're talking beer and drugs right now, apparently. Cheap beer and drugs. Carolina, but it's from Mexico. Modelo. Yeah, right. Would MAGA like Mexican beer? Think about your Schlitz. Yeah, I remember Schlitz. I had some Schlitz. I think the PBB, Pabst Blue Ribbon. Oh, PBR. I think that's better than Schlitz. Eileen Cause here. Hey, good to see Eileen. Eileen's not a drinker. Josh coming in with the Labatt's Blue. Robert Lewis, it's Torrance, not Resistance, just to make sure. Robert Lewis, as your brain digging starts digging it, doesn't want to work anymore. He wants the codeine to do all the work. That's what's addicting. Tamara Price says, we just had a 6.0 earthquake on the coast not far away. Wow. 6.0, that'll get your attention. Nick Rich, Molson's for me, eh? Yeah, good old Canadian beer. Robert Lewis, for the high is only like 15 to 20 minutes, but you still have no pain. WW, the Dos Equis. I like Dos Equis. You know, I seem to like a lot of Mexican beers. I like Dos Equis, and I like Modelo way better than Corona. Corona to me is kind of like the Mexican Coors. And and I drank Coors over the years a lot. So it's not that I hate Coors beer, but you know, let's face it, it's just a cheap beer. I think Coors is better than Budweiser. I think Budweiser is like the worst, probably. But I put Corona almost down at that level of beer, down with Coors and Budweiser. But Modelo and Dos Equis, I think that's a pretty good quality beer. Ichabod, I get Molson 2, all available here. Molson, Labatt's, and Moosehead. Yeah, I've had all those beers. They're good beers. Good beers. Josh, cracking a blue now. All the beer talk. Yeah, I'm almost going to go get me a PBR right now. Janelle Walker sounds fun. Beer and drugs, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, beer and drugs, man. Let's have a good time. Fancy says coffee is my drug. Mr. Spock, they didn't sell Dos Equis in liquor store anymore. They don't? I haven't really been shopping for Dos Equis. I haven't noticed, but oh. Josh says Corona sucks ass. Yeah, I think it's I'm drinking my fair share of Coronas, but like I said, I'll take a Dos Equis or a Modelo, even the Modelo regular blonde or whatever they call it, the regular amber beer. I'll take that over a Corona. Non-mutual, I prefer Mexican Sol beer. That's Sol. Oh yeah, that Sol like the sun. I think I've drank that too. Oliver Brownlow, doesn't Coors support a lot of right-wing causes? Probably. I don't know. WW, we have Mexican restaurants that have it on tap. I like Dos Equis Amber. Now I'm going to have to, next time I go to the store, I'm going to be looking to see if they have Dos Equis. I thought I saw Dos Equis in the store at Albertsons. Tamara, been upgraded to 6.9. Now that's a real shaker. 6.9, that's a real shaker. That will definitely get your attention. That might even shake you up out of bed if you were in bed. And if you were close enough to it. Robert Lewis, we have to teach our war stories, don't we? Our kids need to know history, active history. Amy's here. Amy Rentz is here. Old Milwaukee is the worst. Right. And Pabst Blue Ribbon probably is in the same price range. And I would say for that price range, PBR is like way better than Old Milwaukee. I think, in my opinion. I like dark beer. I like Guinness. I like the what's that, brown ale, whatever it's called. I like those kind of beers too. And PBR ain't that, but I'll still, I'll drink it. Josh, I like Negra Modelo when I go out for Mexican. Yeah, it's a good beer. It's a really good beer. I like it. Robert Lewis with a $1.99 super chat sticker. Thanks, Robert. I do appreciate you. Thanks for donating to the show. Help us keep going, keep this thing going. Freevet28 says Polish beer Carpet Kick is the biz, but not available in USA. 9%. Wow, Carpet Kick. I don't know. Yeah, Polish beer. I never heard of it. Think about dear old Milwaukee or Milwaukee's best. Yeah, I was thinking of that too. I think I've had Milwaukee's best. I don't remember being terribly impressed with it. Which is worse? I don't know. I haven't drank either of those probably in 30 years or longer, maybe. I don't even know. Think about Deer Bush, Keystone, Like Water. Yeah. Tamara Price says now there's a tsunami warning for the coast and inland. Where are you at, Tamara? Are you on what? I'm assuming West Coast. Is it California, Oregon, Washington? I forget. Or are you some other coast? Think about dear Lake Placid UBUL is a dark beer. Josh, PBR and Bush are the best cheapo beers. Bush. Nick Rich, I'm charging up my scooter. Gonna go do a beer. Go to the beer store. Make a beer run. Yeah, on your scooter. Awesome. Tamara Price, yes, Eileen, we are just fine. Just a bit of shaking. Think about deer says Saranic beer. Saranic beer is like East Coast version of Sierra Nevada beer, but older company. I've seen the Sierra Nevada beer in the stores. I don't remember if I've ever had it or not. Go out here. No one brought Sam Adams. Times have changed. I remember drinking Sam Adams back probably like in the 90s or something. Robert Lewis, I'm sorry this addiction is not working today. You have to read between the words. I apologize. This dictation is not working today. WW, you can get some high alcohol beers, but they call them malt liquor. Oh yeah, the malt liquors. Oh yeah, Robert yeah, says I'm sorry about the dictation. I looked back up because I missed this one. It was, talking about the arthritic penis. I think he meant arthritic pain. Maybe is a little different. But an arthritic penis, you don't. Yeah, that's got to be difficult too. Tanner Price says, Trucker John, I'm deep inside Northern California. That's right. So, and you're inland, but that was on the coast, and yeah, you're gonna feel the 6.9. I hope the tsunami. I mean, that tsunami could go the other way, all the way to Japan. Yeah, guys, I think arthritic penis was a typo, but that might be a good name for a band or something. Arthritic penis. Maybe like a band of like old guys who had a rock band. It could be called Arthritic Penis. Arthritic Penis. Temper Price, are you near Ferndale? Ferndale Nightly or something. Fancy, it's way up there. I'm looking on the map. WW says Aldi's has knockoff beer. Tastes close to the real brand, not that much cheaper. Ichabod Deer, Sam Adams stinks bad on the breath. Fancy, I hate beer breath. Tamara, Ferndale is so close. Robert Lewis, I wasn't saying PS. I know. A stupid vacation made a mistake and I didn't catch it. I have bad eyes. Yeah, I know. I knew that was a typo. But still, it's kind of fun to read. Josh, I had Trader Joe's mystery beer once. Fancy, that would be a great internet name. Arthritic penis. Yeah. Non-mutual, my father drank Falstaff and Stroh's. I remember those beers, Falstaff and Stroh's. Not sure if I've ever drank them. I may have, because I've probably drank almost every brand at one time or another. Mr. Spot, broken penis is a thing, though. Robert Lewis, I don't understand all the errors that this decision is making it for me, or is it the fucking computer? It's probably, I don't know. That's a good question. Because I do that too. That when you do that dictation or whatever, sometimes, and it'll be, I end up having to either just send it out the way it is, or I end up like backspacing it and correcting it. Then I'm like, well, I might as well just type myself then. Oliver Brownlow says arthritic penis sounds like a good name for a hip punk band. Robert Lewis, it changes right when I try to stop it. I got to make changes again. Think about dear rigor mortis penis, a headbanger band. Oh, Erin's back. Okay, so Erin's meeting. We've gone so long that Erin was able to do her meeting and come back. So, you know. All right, guys. I think I'm going to maybe call it a day. I haven't been feeling very well. I think, I don't know if I ate something or what, but I've been kind of not feeling so great. And right now I feel like I got some chills going or something. So I think I'm going to go lay down. I hate to be a party pooper, but it has been almost 2 hours. And I was planning on, of course, coming back on today at 3 for the House Sparks pre-show hangout. So I think I'm going to probably call it a day, or call this show, and then get some rest, and then be back at 3 p.m. Pacific time, where we can hang out and get ready for House Sparks. And maybe we'll talk about beer some more. I don't know. Think about deer says take a walk first, get your circulation going. Yeah, that's a good idea. Mr. Spock, the direction the chat chat is becoming flaccid. WW, I like Bach beer. Robert Lewis, I wasn't, but every time Apple does a update, it changes my settings. Josh, drink water and take a dump and a nap. But anyhow, all right, guys. So that was our about almost 2 hours of chatting about beer and drugs and Trump and the less stinky turd. We talked about some Medicare stuff, and we had a lot of subjects. The jackal was a big subject today. So we did a little bit of everything. Touched a lot of subjects. I think maybe we'll have some more when I get back on here. We'll see. Yeah, Trucker John, you're looking a little pale. You better go lay down for a while. I'll take over. I can take over for a little bit for old Trucker John. Yeah, Trucker John's not looking too good. Let's get the tough cookie in here. Get some really, let's liven the show up a little bit. Anyhow, before Trucker John pulls the plug on the show, I just want to say hello to everybody. Yeah, Tough Cookie is still here. Tough Cookie hasn't been eaten yet. I'm still around. Still cooking. Kicking. I'm kicking. I'm not cooking. I don't cook. Let's make that clear. I do not cook. But I'm still kicking. So, but I hadn't seen you guys in a while. I just want to jump in here and say hi real quick. Maybe I'll be back for the 3 o'clock show. I don't know. We'll see. Just have to see. Just play it by ear. You just never know. You never know when Trucker John lets me come in. So, all right, guys. Just going to say hi, but we'll see you later. Tough Cookie. Yeah, there he is. Yeah. Good old Tough Cookie. And hey, guys, I'm here too. Don't forget about Paul the Purple Beard Guy. I'm here too. Let's not forget old Paul the Purple Beard guy with my beautiful beard. I can grow a beautiful beard, unlike Trucker John, who has this scraggly little mess going on. It's just, I don't think you can even call that a beard or whatever. I don't know what he calls it. But look at me, big, beautiful, luscious purple beard. It's very nice, fills in nice. And so as far as beards are around here, I think I'm the king. Tough Cookie can't grow a beard, and that would be kind of weird, right? I almost turned into Tough Cookie for a second there. I don't know. It just happens sometimes. But hey, guys, thanks for being here. I just want to say thanks. I want to say hi. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, and I just want to say happy holidays. We got the holidays coming up, so everybody have a good one. And but I'll be in here before like the big holiday, the big one. So, all right, guys, thanks for being here. Talk to you guys later. All right. Always good when those guys drop in. You just never know. You never know when they're gonna drop in. They just drop in on you, All right, guys. Yeah, I need purple eyebrows. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little break here, a little breaky. I'll see you guys again right here in our really big show. It's the Trucker John live stream right here on YouTube. Don't miss it. Right here, 3 p.m. Pacific time. In the old Pacific time zone. We'll hang out for about an hour. And get ready for the Hal Sparks show. How's that sound? All right, you guys were awesome. Thank you so much for all the people who have been with the fan funding. We got Real Bill P as a member. We had Nikki Oliver with the super chat, and Non-Useful with some super chats and super stickers, and Fancy is a member. There's Non-Useful again, and WW is a member. And Mike H with a nice one there, and Robert Lewis with a super chat. Thank you guys so much. You guys are so awesome. Thanks for helping out. Keep the show going and growing. And hopefully we don't get arthritic penises, but or whatever. And I'll see you guys again in about less than 4 hours, I think. So come on back, hit your notification button, bell thing, or whatever. Make sure you come on back here in about 4 hours, and we'll hang out, get loose, get warmed up, all that good stuff. Get ready for Hal to come on, and I'll see you guys then. And but just remember, as I am wont to do, I like to leave the show with a bit of words of wisdom. Trucker wisdom, lifelong wisdom. And so here's today's daily word of wisdom from Trucker John. Okay, right? You might want to get a pen, paper, whatever, write it down. But here we go. Just remember, as you go through life, that
well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. I'll see Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully. Nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about gold chimes, but if we did, I'd be on too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you, baby, to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant. But I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stopped a truck driving. Who am I trying to kid? At least when I was out there driving, I could handle the skid. Doing this live stream, baby, it's been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again, right here on the Trucker John live stream. We gonna do it again and again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back